Hey Anna, so I just showered and I'm still in a towel, so yes, I am wearing clothing, but I promised you I was gonna make this video today, but I know it's like late and it seems kind of like an afterthought, but I was like, oh, I have to look like decent, and I've been taking full advantage of my day off and lounging and doing homework and catching up in whatever people are supposed to be doing in school. And I look like a mess. But yeah. And I had volleyball earlier, so I've been looking gross. Ew. That smells weird. Okay. So, that guy I told you about, who like wanted to take me out to donuts or whatever. I hung out with him yesterday, and it was really nice. And there's like an area of Virginia called, there's an area where I live called, I don't really want to like be specific about where I live, but there's an area called Vienna, and it's really cool. There's a lot to do there. My mom works there. So I basically was like, hey, let's hang out in Vienna. And he was like, that sounds awesome. Because he lives there. And I live like 20 minutes from there, so it was no big deal. So I drive over and I park and whatever. And I'm hanging out in front of this ice cream shop waiting for him. And he gets there. And we just like awkwardly are like, so what should we do? Because the only thing to do in Vienna really is eat, but it's a lot cooler than where I live. And so he's like, let's walk to my high school. So we walk there and back. That's like 2 miles, easy walk or whatever. And we just talked and it was really nice. And I think I'm going to church with him. That happened. He got the agnostic girl to be like, yeah, sure, I'll go to church with you. He's also really pretty. At one point, um, like we were just talking about stuff we were insecure about. And apparently my friend was like, oh yeah, she says you're really insecure. Like, why? And I told him about how, like, when you spend your entire life listening to people call you, like, fat, ugly, and annoying, you start to believe it. He was like, oh, but you're not any of that. And I was like, oh, God, the blushing begins. And he has this really cool voice. Like, okay, the only way that I can really describe it is, like, you know, when there's a ton of snow on the ground, like, there's a breeze. His voice is like that breeze over on a really cold winter night. Like, I can't describe it. He has a really cool voice. And he has this really nice smile. Because what ended up happening was we walked to his high school and back, and then we were like, oh, let's go to this mall. Like, it's this really big mall, so my. But it's kind of far from where I live, and there's a lot of traffic. But because it was like a Sunday afternoon, there wasn't that much traffic. So I drove us over there, which he really sucks at directions. He was like, I think you're supposed to go get off over there. And I was like, thanks. A lot. But, so, and we literally walked this mall. It's huge, like 4 times. And we were just talking. Like, we weren't actually doing anything. We were just talking about ourselves and life. And it was really nice. And then we drove back and I dropped him off by his church because his church is apparently really cool. And I was like, yeah, we should do this again sometime. And he was like, yeah. I was like, I'll come visit you in photo. And we like made eye contact and he had this huge smile. And I was like, oh my God, he has a really nice smile. It made me really happy. But okay, I'm trying to remember most of what you said in your video, but mostly the consensus was like, correct me if I'm wrong and you didn't talk about this in the last video, but a guy was like, I like you, but I don't like you. Boys are dumb. Seriously, like, this is coming from a girl who had literally just spent like 4 minutes talking about how much she likes this guy, but like, boys are dumb. I hate boys. Like, what even? Okay, I'm really sorry. I'm not really responding to anything, but I just kind of want to tell you about that because it made me really happy. So, bye, Anna.